let's real quickly yank that to the clipboard. You need to learn Vim. Yeah, you actually totally should. Like, even the Vim motions are fucking amazing. I love it so much. Are you, what's your typing speed, out of curiosity?
My typing speed used to be 98 before I just weighed my arm. Now it's around 70.
Okay, yeah, that should be fast enough. I just ask because I know some people are like, oh, I should learn Vim, and they have a typing speed of like 40, and it's like, ugh. Maybe don't. If you want to learn Vim, the quick TLDR that I'd recommend is, so this would be the quick series of steps. These aren't in a perfect order, but it is in a roughly sequential order because that's how I learned it, and I felt like it worked pretty good. I want you to get used to the editor first before you start playing in Config Town. Because the thing is that you can make NeoVim incredibly close to Visual Studio Code, but I don't think it's good to make NeoVim Visual Studio Code until you know what you like and dislike and what you want and don't want, right? Because if you slam right into it trying to make it Visual Studio Code, you are going to complain how it does not meet Visual Studio Code, right? So what I recommend first is, if you look up, there's some things like there's a like a Vim typing game, Vim Adventures. Yeah, so like this is an amazing, if you can play this for like 5 minutes just to get like an idea of like moving around, so you can move the way you want to without getting like frustrated. You can get the idea, and you can kind of get this sense of like moving around and whatever, right? So basically just play with that for like 5 minutes until the motions of moving become good. I'll paste that in chat for you so you can like bookmark that or whatever. The next thing I would recommend after that, force yourself to do all your text editing in, you said use Visual Studio Code, so awesome. Just use Visual Studio Code, but install the Vim extension, right? So if we open up Visual Studio Code, you know, as I was mentioning with the extensions, you'll see I have a bunch of extensions installed for this because I'm absolute cancer. But one of my extensions in here somewhere is going to be, yeah, the Vim extension. Oh yeah, asterisk for you, Harley, is unfortunately the creator of Vim has passed away. So I believe Vim at this point is no longer in development. Like it is unfortunately a dead project now. So you'll want to use NeoVim because I don't see how Vim's development would continue without the creator being there. I could be wrong about that, but you get the idea. Because NeoVim is a community fork of Vim, so that's my strong recommendation. NeoVim is just Vim, but they made some small changes. So for instance, for scripting, instead of needing to use Vim script, you can use Lua script. So a lot of people prefer the Lua bindings a lot more instead of having to write Vim script. I'm actually debating making like a, this would actually be probably a good video to make at some point. But yeah, anyways, so the first thing you need to do is basically HJKL, right? So that would be like basic movement, right? And modes. So you can see the mode that I'm in right here with this little block. So if you want to see what mode I'm in, you can see there. The combo counter, yeah, as I mentioned, absolutely tismed out. Gotta make sure I'm getting that stimulus. Ob? I do not know what you mean by ob. Sorry, typo, you meant to type an O. Yeah, that makes sense. Then there's normal mode. Yeah, so if you're in any other mode, you press escape to get to here. I is to go to insert mode. So if you have like a word here highlighted, right? So that you have word. If I want to, your cursor that's like highlighted, right? If you press A, you'll go to the end of that character and start typing. If you want to go to the beginning, you press I. So that's kind of the A-B of it, right? You can do Shift I to go to the beginning of a line and start typing like that, or you can do Shift A to jump to the end of a line and start typing there. V is to go to visual mode. You have V, Shift V, then you also have, yeah, it's Control V. Well, the difference there is so Shift V is row select, and then Command V is like a vertical row select. You have R for replace mode, and they have like Shift and Control combos. It's quite easy actually. Yeah, totally. It's just getting the muscle memory of it, right? Oh, sorry. I also forgot. U is undo. Undo, and then Control plus R is redo. The next thing I would recommend is not macros, but like I'll name it other functions, right? Then the other functions that I would learn is, so one is web. So that's a typo. Oopsie poopsie. So what web is very simple. So if you have a sentence, you know, like the brown lazy dog. So web is basically word end and beginning. So if you type B, you will go backwards to get to the beginning of each word. If you type E, you'll go to the end of each word. And then W does kind of the same thing as like E, but I believe E will just jump to the end of the current word that you're at, while Web will jump to the, W will jump to the end of the next word. So like W is to go to the next word, E is to go to the end of the current word, and B is to go back to the start of the last word. So if I want to jump very quickly to brown, right, I could go double B, 3 B's, and then an E, instead of having to go like H. So that's one way that it can be really fast. Oh yeah, you can do GG to go to the top. You can do Shift G to go to the very end of a document. F is find. So I'll do F as in find forward. So that's a very important one that I haven't established yet for some reason. So just as a brief example with that, what I can do is like, let's say I'm like back here. So like I'm at the start of this line, right? Just quickly scanning across to the D and delete that I want to go to. That's going to be an absolute pain to get to, even using like the word command and whatever, right? So what I can do instead of that is I can do FD and then bam, I'm there, because it finds the first occurrence, right? But yeah, so you have Shift F for find backwards in line. So like, let's say I want to go to the lazy in dog, then there you go. So I can do Shift F Z, and then there you are. In line, I'm gonna just make that clear. In line, so right there, that quick jump I just did, I pressed F, and then I pressed my little curly bracket key to jump to like that curly bracket, or this parenthesis, whatever you want to call it, right? So that was that, and then the / command, like that, is going to be find. So if you actually want to find something specific, so again, that hashtag that I mentioned earlier, I can do / the pound, and then it'll find all references that within the thing. And then you can press N to cycle forward and Shift N to cycle backwards. N just being next. Let's see. N dash Shift plus N. Let's see. Next dash priv after find. There you are, like that, right? Let's see. I'm gonna do jump to closing dash opening bracket. I'll show you something way cooler with this in a second. Actually, no, I'll do it now. Fuck it. We're doing it now. We're doing it live. So what I can do is I can do F and then parenthesis to jump to the parenthesis like I did just there, right? And then what I can also do is I can do the percentage key, which will jump me to the end of the fucking, the closing parenthesis. Contextual based on what parenthesis it is. So you can see how that one's yellow and then the one down here is yellow. I can just press, you know, the frickin' percentage sign to jump, right? So that's what that does, and that's absolutely killer. And you'll see here, if I go here to this inner line one here with these purple parentheses, if I press it again, you'll see it jumps me to the beginning, and then I can just jump back and forth between the two of these. And it's so nice. It's also a lot better on hand strand. Yeah, totally. I was told that NeoVim actually helps people with hand strain because you don't have to do all these like really repetitive, annoying things. Mini macro soap. Yeah. Third step I would recommend is learning modifiers. I'm still fighting so much muscle memory built up over the years. So mini modifiers. So one example would be numbers, right? So the way NeoVim works is it works based off of sort of like key combos, right? So you'll have like one key activate something and then another one do something else. I'm just gonna paste this down here for like a quick reference. So right there is a mini macro, and I'll explain that in a second. So what you can do is you can do numbers, right? So numbers are a modifier that you can use to repeat a function, right? So for instance, right here, let's say I want to jump to where it says text, right? So there's a couple ways that I can think of doing that, but so like looking at a glance, it's just like, okay, that's about 5 words over. So what I can do is I can type 5 and then W, and then I jump 5 words over immediately instead of having to go W, right? So what you can do is, so like, let's say you had something fun. So you have like line 1, what am I thinking of? Yank 10 paste. There you are. So you have a bunch of lines like this. I'm gonna go all the way down like that. I'm gonna do G Command A to increment. So whatever, the lines don't need to be perfect. You get the idea, right? So I have all these lines right here, right? I guess I just paste one right there. So I have all these lines, right? And then like, let's say, but anyways, let's carry on. So let's say for each one of these lines, I wanted to add a little semicolon to the end because like, oh, this is like a language that cares about that, right? So what I could do is I could do something where I could select each line, and then I can do Shift A to go to the end, and I can do a semicolon. And then look at that, I now have implemented a line at the end of everything, right? So that's a cute little like multi-cursor thing, right? That I can kind of do, which works somewhat well. But I'm gonna add a step 0 up here. Step 0, turn on quote. It's gonna be colon set space RNU. What that does is, you see the number on the left near where my cursor is. Those numbers, how it's relative. So the current line you're on is the line number that you're on. Surprise. And then the number just shows you up and down, right? So if I want to jump up to turn 0, I can type 13 and then press K, because K is up. So K will take me up that far. Also, I forgot to add, you should also learn O, and then also Shift plus O. Sorry, O creates a new line below where you are, and then it immediately slaps you into insert mode. You can see the mode that I'm in right here with this little block. So if you want to see what mode I'm in, you can see there. But yeah, so O will just create a new line below you and then immediately start typing, put you in typing mode. Shift O will create a line above. So that's super nice if you want to like do stuff, because then you don't have to go like, oh, Shift A, enter, and then start typing. It just saves a lot of the little fuss about that, right? You just install the extension Epic. I'll finish the little mini tutorial because, hey, I might just extract this and just upload it as a video as like get started with Vim in 20 seconds. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll use it as reference. Yeah, Epic. Y is for yank, X is for cut. And then what is it? X is cut, and then D is delete. Paste. There we are. Stabs with good intent. Why, thank you. Another thing that's great. So the reason why yanking is awesome is because you'll see my original clipboard where I copied the lorem ipsum is still saved, right? So I can copy this, I can cut that out using the X function, right? But then I can insert and I can do my Command V function to still paste like it retains the clipboard, which is just such a nice little thing. There's a flag you can do to make it so that yanking overwrites your clipboard. I recommend not turning that on and getting used to this, because once you get used to this and you're used to that like contextual copy paste, it is just shockingly nice to have 2 copy pastes, right? Yeah, so it's kind of 2 clipboards, and there's more you can do. Like there's like buffers, which is like a whole other thing, but I don't understand those at all, so I'm not going to get into that. So there's like the A key. I don't know what the A key is supposed to be. But it's a super useful key, and then there's also G. So A and G, I don't know what those abbreviate to, but like as an example, so NeoVim is line base. So like if I do something like this and then I have these lines down here, you'll see that the editor identifies this line and this line as 2 different lines, right? So the thing that's very annoying about that is that like, well, the line above is a whole paragraph, and I don't want to like break it. That's so powerful, right? I agree. But yeah, so carrying on, so these are 2 different lines. Like, well, that's really annoying because I want to go up a visual line, not up a contextual line, right? Well, what you can do is you can press G and then K, which K is the up key, to go up visually through these sublines, if that makes sense. So that's a way you can navigate like that, and there's a lot of nice little things you can do like that, but there's also other great things you can do as well. So for instance, a good editor will let you do a lot of things quickly. So like for instance, if I yank that line for the 1 and then I paste a bunch, it's like, yay, now I have a bunch of 1s. I want these to increment, right? So what I can do is I can do Control V, I can select these, I can do G, Command A. There we are, Command A is it. So you can see I just generated like that list of numbers. I have now just created a numbered list that just automatically incremented after selecting those lines, right? And it's like, okay, that's a little neat, but that's a little bit niche, right? Well, what makes that a lot better is like, let's say I'm coding some JavaScript. If I have something like console log 1, and then I yank this, and remember the number keys from earlier, we can automatically increment that. So I can type in 10 paste, and then it pastes 10 times. What I can then do is I can then go over to here. I can do the visual mode. Looking at the left, I can see 9. So I can press 9 and then J for down. Then I can do G command A, and now that entire console log has been incremented, like contextually. And you know, there I selected it with Control V, but that's what also makes it great. Oh, sorry, I also forgot. U is undo, and then Control plus R is redo. So that's what those are. So, those are very good. And then, but what I can do now is that NeoVim is actually smart enough that if I just select the lines like this, I can again do the G, Control A. There we are. I messed with the G. G is increment everything, I believe, like 1, and then G Control A, or sorry, Control A is like increment everything by 1. G Control A is like increment contextually things. But yeah, that's just a super nice thing if you ever need to make like a list, right? Like Markdown is a great example for something like that, right? So used for web dev and all the 900 devs. I don't know what you mean by 900 devs, but yes, it is very useful. Let's see, I'm gonna do jump to closing dash opening bracket. I'll show you something way cooler with this in a second. Actually, no, I'll do it now. Fuck it. We're doing it now. We're doing it live. So what I can do is I can do F and then parenthesis to jump to the parenthesis like I did just there, right? And then what I can also do is I can do the percentage key, which will jump me to the end of the fucking, the closing parenthesis. Contextual based on what parenthesis it is. So you can see how that one's yellow and then the one down here is yellow. I can just press, you know, the frickin' percentage sign to jump, right? So that's what that does, and that's absolutely killer. And you'll see here, if I go here to this inner line one here with these purple parentheses, if I press it again, you'll see it jumps me to the beginning, and then I can just jump back and forth between the two of these. And it's so nice. And then again, this is where Vim becomes insanely powerful, is with the power of macros. So what I can do is I can press V to go into visual mode, which is like the selection mode, right? Then I can do shift, then I can do %, which will select between the two parentheses. And then I can just do whatever I want with that. Like I can just yank that out and then just do something else with it. And then just throw it away or whatever, right? It's awesome. Yeah, right? You're starting to get it now. Another thing too is like, so let's say right here, I really don't like this this word right here, right? Like this word right here, icky. I don't want anymore, right? What I can do is I can type in DAW for delete the word. It's like delete all word or something like that, right? Again, I don't remember what the A key is supposed to abbreviate to, but yeah, I can just do stuff like that. So like, again, like it's like, oh, like this word here is really weird, DAW, and then it's just gone. Like, you know, DAW, whatever, right? Or then like, you know, like again, like this, like I want to delete like the first 5 words of this because I don't think it's nice. 5, DAW, the first 5 words are gone. Like that, just poof, gone, away. Which is really fun and thrilling. Vim can select things contextually, right? So like, let's say I do this, and then down here I have like, you know, like a console.log, and then, you know, like console.log, and then it's boink, and it's like here is my awesome string, woo. So like, let's say that's that, and like, let's say that was a terrible error message. I don't want this error message anymore. What I can do is similar to the %5 thing. So the %5 thing only works with like parentheses, like any sort of bracket. So it works with parentheses, curly brackets, and square brackets, but it doesn't work with like quotation marks. What I can do instead, though, which is really neat, is I can do V for visual mode, I forget what I does, inner. I is inner in visual mode, and then you can do the parentheses, and then you'll see I selected everything between those two like double quotes. I meant to say double quotes. So you can do VI and then whatever the delimiting characters are, and then you'll just select that, and then you can just go X to go poof, it's gone. So a similar example is if I go up here, I find this little bracket right here, and then I'm now between these two parentheses again, right? Let's say I want to get rid of this entire line. I can do V, and then instead of inner, I can do A for all again, and then I can do a parenthesis. Now I've selected everything including the parentheses instead of excluding the parentheses, and then now I can just delete that and then replace that with, mumbo jumbo. And then ta-da! We now have like massive selections gone, like just instantly, basically, right? And it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to just do large swaths like that in like just a few key presses. All that under 10 megabytes of RAM usage. Exactly, right? Because these are features that actually matter, instead of fucking trying to plug the V8 runtime into fucking a visual editor because ooh, it looks pretty. M is set mark, and then this is going to be go to mark. So yeah, we'll do 4 now, finally. We're doing this very out of order. But so we have marks. And what marks are is they're fucking awesome. So I'm gonna do this in actual NeoVim because this is way better. So this script right now at the bottom, you can see this is support.html, right here. So this paragraph, let's say I'm writing a lot, I'm doing a lot in this paragraph, right? I can do M to start a mark, and I'll do P for paragraph, right? And then I'll go, say, like, up to the top of the page. I'll find, like, the first occurrence of button, right? So no. Okay, whatever. Let's pretend right here on line 336, you can see on the far left, I'm working on this button code a lot, right? So what I'll do is I'll kind of format it. So I'll go to the very start. I'll press 0 to actually go to the very beginning of the line, including white space. So what I'll do is I'll do a M to start setting a mark, and I'll press B for button. What I can now do is I can press the single quote, so the one to the right, on like most keyboards, this is to the right of the colon/semicolon key. I can press that, and I can press P, and I'll jump to the paragraph immediately. And I can press the little asterisk thing again. This character right here, that little line that they use for like it's, like abbreviating it is, aren't, things like that, right? And you can again do that character B. I'll jump back to the button. It gets better. You've always wanted that feature on text editors? Well, now you got it. And here's where it gets better. So what I can do is so this is what I was going to show you. So those are marks. I'm going to show you something else now called global marks. So what I can do is if I do M to start setting a mark, and then again, because this is support, I'm gonna instead of S, I'm gonna do Shift S. Okay, very very important that this is a capital, right? If I then exit out to another file. And then let's say I want to go to volbyte.com and I want to edit my 404 page, right? Actually, 404 probably isn't the best example for this. Let's do something else because I don't know if it works with number. Clientmanagement.js. So this is just managing a bunch of state, right? So I'll do M and I'll do again a capital C instead of a lowercase c. What I can now do, and this is where it gets freaking cranked, is I'll do that same little comma, asterisk, whatever key it is, the apostrophe, whatever it is, the one right here. I'll press that and I'll press Shift S, and then I'm now back at the support file. I'll do that little freaking again, and I'll go back to freaking C, Shift C. I'm now back at client management again. So I have jumped between files. OMG, yeah. It works between files, yeah. And it'll take you to specific points. So notice how here I'm at the end of the file. So if I go back up here, right? So you'll see my cursor's at the top, right? If I do that, I go back to support, I'm at the end of the file. And if I go back to this and I do C, oh, it does actually only take you to the file. My apologies. I was mistaken about that. But yes, it works between files. And then as an example, I can go down to here. I can then set another mark that's like end, right? And I'll go back to the support file. I'll have one right here that is also not S. I want this one to be end. So what I can do is I can then jump back to the C file. So now if I'm back to the top, right, and I do comma E to summon it, I'll jump to the end, right? But let's say I didn't want to do that. And again, you have the GG shift G thing, which doesn't make a ton of sense, right? But so again, like let's say I'm like back over here, right? So it's like, okay, well I want to go to the client file. So now I'm back in the client file, but now I want to go back to the end. It will remember the end of the file. And then if I go back to the support file and I'm now at the top again and I do comma E again, the lowercase letters are contextual to the file. Like the lowercase marks, I should say. So I know that's a little bit hard to like kind of like get if like you don't completely get it, but like the best way to think about it is that uppercase letter or number is global, while a lowercase number or letter is local. So you can have 24 files at your fingertips to get all fun with. It gets better.
Excuse you, mister. You want to go back on your bed? You want to come back down? You want to come back down? I didn't think you wanted to go on your bed. Come here. Come here. Come on. I'll help you get down. I'll help you get down. I'll help you get down. Come here. Come here. Come here. What? There's a good boy. There you are.
The cool part is that Vim also supports is actual macros. Actual. Q is going to be record. Q plus number dash letter. So there you go. Q end recording. Then you also have, what do you call it? At plus let's see, number dash letter, which will be call recording. I know it's technically macros, but whatever, you get the idea. What I'll just do here is I'll just create a quick paragraph tag and I'll just paste that in there. I think I did that wrong. Let's do this. So I want to go like that. Shift V, copy that to my clipboard. Go to here. Then in here I want to paste this. GG to the top is so GG, exactly right. So yeah, so again, as I was saying, so let's say here, I just for some reason hate the word it. I want to replace the word it with like, I don't know, a frickin' smiley face, right? So what I can do is I can do this. I can press Q to start recording, and then you have to press a key after that because that's the slot that it'll be saved to. So like if you press Q, you're then basically calling like a record a macro, right? So in this case, I'm gonna do S for smiley. It can be, I believe, any letter or number as long as it's not like a special character, right? So now the macro has started recording. You can see in the bottom right of my screen down here, it says recording. So in that case, what I'm going to do is, again, I want to replace every occurrence of it in this paragraph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go / to start a search. I'm going to go for IT. I'm going to do enter. So I'm now at this, the word, right? I'm going to do DAW to select the word and delete it. I'm going to press I, and then I want to replace that with a smiley, right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to add a space because that deleted the smiley. And I'm going to press escape to return to normal mode. And I'm going to press Q again to stop the macro. So that is the macro recorded. Now what I can do is I can do @s, and you'll see that right here, it jumped to the next occurrence of it and replace it with a smiley for me. So if I have a really long paragraph, I can just hammer those out. So for instance, if I undo those, right, I can just do, @s. Okay, that seems to be good. @s. Okay, @s. Oh, that is not recording. I can do @s. Okay, there's the next one, and then @s. That one to the top and replace something at the top. So it'll loop around. But yeah, so it has built-in macro support. So like that isn't the best example, but like, can you do number @s? Yeah. So that's actually a great example. So for instance, let's undo that. So I just want to undo this so we have this one cleared. Okay, yeah. So I see, you can see by the highlighting, it technically included the like IT and width. So, there's some issues like that where you kind of got to think out your stuff, right? But in that example, what we can do now is I can go to the top. So again, there's 3 occurrences in the paragraph. So I can do 3 @s, and then bam. You can see that I now have 3 smileys hidden within the paragraph now. I'll make that a little bit bigger so you can see a little bit clearer. But yeah, so you can see now that there's now 3 smiley faces within this paragraph hidden. Yeah, sorry, I realize you're probably squinting for that, so I apologize. But yeah, so now you can see, again, 3 smiley faces, right? So, again, macros are very awesome. So after you get good at that, the colon operator. So the colon operator does a lot of things. So the colon operator, you'll see on my cursor jump down here. This is like Vim's little personal mini terminal. It's like contextual to Vim. With the colon, there's a few important ones that you need to know. So Control W, that is going to be write. So this is similar to like an operating system, right? So you have Control W for write. You have Control X, which is going to be save and quit. Oh, so that's how I exit NeoVim. Yes, we finally got to it. Q would be quit, no save. You have EX for File Explorer. If you want to force any of them, what you do is :W bang, which will be force save. So if you have the permissions, it will forcibly overwrite the file, right? Control X bang, that'll be force save and quit. No save. So you can do :Q and then :W, which is basically the same thing as X. X is just an abbreviation for it, right? So then, like before, you can do Q bang, and then this will be force quit. But yeah, so that's how that goes. But there's more you can do. So for instance, this is a thing that makes NeoVim start getting also cranked as well. If you do set space R and U, that will set relative number units or something like that, right? So that's how you get the number units that are like on the left. But there's more you can do with it. So for instance, you can do semicolon, and then you can type in capital E and then lowercase x for a file explorer. And then you can press minus to go down, you can do scrolling, you can go into something, browse around more. And then in here, as you kind of saw at the top here, there's this little quick help thing which shows you how to like delete, rename, sort by, and special. There's a couple extra that they're forgetting. So for instance, you can do a lowercase d to create a directory. So I'll just create this directory and name it asdif. You can see there's asdif now made. You didn't know that nvim had a file explorer? Yeah, nvim is cranked. You can do percentage to create a file. So if you do like shift 5, I can create another file. I can do like asdif dot, HTML, and then I'm getting an error. It'll take you into the file, and it won't register in your thing until you save it. So for instance, here I'll do something like, I'll just do bangs, and then I can save it with :W. So, and then if I also do, so you can actually use like kind of like the what do you call it, the like terminal shortcuts. So if I do the up arrow key, you'll see that it just does the previous command again. One more thing, you can do :term, and I'm gonna do in bracket also ctrl plus backslash plus n to exit. We have bang sex split horizontally. But yeah, so to carry on, you have sex bang, which is split vertically. This is the thing that makes NeoVim start getting also cranked as well. So for instance, in NeoVim, let's say I'm working in this file, right? And like this is something I'm doing, and it's like, man, I really want a second window here. Like I want a second window to the left or right? What I can do is I can do :, and then I can type in sex, capital S sex. And then what that will do is it will create a horizontal split like this. So now I'm in this upper window. And then if I want to jump to the lower window that's grayed out, I do Control W, and then using the Vim motion controls of HJKL, in this case I'll use J to go down, I can then now go to the bottom window, and then now I'm down here. And then I'm doing all my little stuff down here. And same thing, Control W, jump back up, and then now we're at the top. So that's how that do. If you do :quit to just quit a file, you'll see that you exit it, but the other split just consumes the whole screen. The other one that you could do is vex, which basically means split like horizontally. So now you can see I have a left-right split, and then if I want to jump to the right, instead of doing K this time, I'll do L, which is the right key, right? And then if I want to go back to the left, Control W, and then H to go to the left. And then what's cool is that if I want to keep going, I can then do this awesome sex command there, and you see the window splits again. And I can basically just keep doing that as long as I have pixels to keep splitting, or lines to keep splitting, because it's not pixels, but you get the idea. I believe you can also do sex bang, the glorious command. So sex bang is just vex. So, the awesome sex bang command. It's honestly like my favorite command in NeoVim. I just love sex bang so much. GG, I can only use sex and sex. Yeah. Tell me, Harley, are you in fact a terminal user? Like, do you know your Linux commands somewhat well? Like your basic utilities? Yes, you are. Okay. So this is where NeoVim will be fucking cranked for you. Let's just say we have a bunch of numbers here, right? So I'll do this, I'll do yank, and I'll do like 10 paste again, right? I'm gonna select the increments, I'm gonna do G command A, so now they're all incremented, right? It's like, oh no, the list is out of order. Isn't that so annoying? What I can do is I can then select the lines, whoops. I can then select all the lines. I should have done that faster, but whatever. I can select all the lines. I can do colon to start typing. And then you'll see that the little string that's right here, that basically is just the selection, right? What I can then do is I can then type in bang sort. No, that's running weird for some reason. I don't know why that's running weird. But anyways, you can run the fucking terminal sort command. Just do the thing, right? So for instance, if I have A, B, C, E, this, bang sort, and then there we go. That one's sorted the way I expect it to. But you can see there, it sorted the list and it put the space at the top. So that's one thing that like it just lets you do. It lets you just fucking bang out sorting like that. So like for instance, if you don't want to code the list to run manually, because let's be real, more lines of code is not always better, right? Can you grep? Yes, so I have a macro setup that lets me do that. So what I can do is, so if you want to reference it, the Primeagen, I think, made a video basically explaining the config, and a lot of my config is inspired from theirs. Like, let's say I don't want my whole editor taken up, and for some reason marks just aren't vibing with me, right? What I can do instead is I can do tab space new, and then you'll see at the top it made those little tabs. And then I can do GT to go to the next tab, or G Shift T to go to the previous. So if I do one more like tab, tab new. So I have 3 tabs, right? I can do G Shift T to go back, and I can do GT to go to the next tab. And then if I also do, so you can actually use like kind of like the what do you call it? The like terminal shortcuts. So if I do the up arrow key, you'll see that it just does the previous command again. So, you know, let's just do this a few times. So let's just do that. So you can see now I have 6 tabs, right? So that can be a bit annoying to work with, right? Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go GT. That's annoying. If I want to go specifically to the 3rd tab, I can do 3 GT, and then that takes me to the 3rd tab. If I do 5 GT, now I'm at the 5th tab. If I do 1 GT, I'm now at the 1st tab. So I can bounce around like that if you prefer tab-based, like, editing. Marks are debatably superior, tabs are debatably superior. It kind of depends what your flavor is. I personally kind of prefer tabs, honestly, but I think marks would be better, especially if you're on like an extremely limited resolution screen, right? And then also, sorry, as a side thing, so like let's say I'm in the 6th tab, right, and I'm done here. I'm done with this. I've tested it, whatever. I'm done, right? You can just quit, and then it just closes the tab for you, right? So just quit, and then I'm out. I'm dipped. So that's how you can do it. So you can actually use tabs with marks at the same time to have like some insane fucking combo shit going on, some fucking wombo combo. And that's something that is completely valid. So now, after you do all that, I would say now it is config time. So I would do ft plugin. So I would do ft plugin. Plugins after those are basically the 3 that you need to know. Hopefully this isn't boring you, Harley. Are you engaged so far? Are you engaging with the Vim insaneness that is happening? I want to just double check to make sure I'm not going too off base and upsetting you. You are? Okay, awesome. So yes, so carrying on. So the issue is that the set RNU that I showed you before, that won't save every single time. And I saved configuring for last because I want you to get used to the editor first before you start playing in Config Town. Because the thing is that you can make NeoVim incredibly close to Visual Studio Code, but I don't think it's good to make NeoVim Visual Studio Code until you know what you like and dislike and what you want and don't want, right? Because if you slam right into it trying to make it Visual Studio Code, you are going to complain how it does not meet Visual Studio Code, right? But anyway, so if you go into the after folder, you'll see that I have these two things. I forget what queries is. But anyways, you'll see I have these two plugins, right? So for instance, the FT plugin stands for like the format plugins, right? So you can see I have a format for C, C++, GD, GDScript, HTML, and Markdown. So for instance, in C, you'll see that I have set local no expand tab, set local tab stop 4. So basically, just long story short, these things here just format my tab spaces to 4, right? If I then jump to, say, my HTML file, you'll see that my tab spaces are now 2 because I deal with so much indenting that it's just like it's hard to read, right? So the file name is literally just like, you know, language.vim, or it can be language.lua, I think. I don't know the Lua config. I kind of bounce back and forth between two. It's a mess in my brain. I haven't really bothered to learn either, honestly. But you can do basically language name.vim, and then you can set contextual stuff based on that environment. So you can load certain plugins, you can run certain scripts, you can do things on save or whatever based on the language, instead of being like constrained to like whatever. You have 3 AM commit messages? Yeah. You get the vibe. Okay, let's either go to... Oh no, I should probably click history. Let's click history. Fix the links. Okay. That looks probable. That looks possible. Okay. So this one right here might be right. This is one that definitely worked at some point.
Yeah! We got the queen! Let's go!
Okay. We did it. Harley. Heck yeah. Okay, that made me way happier than it should have, but alas, here we are. Now for all of your patience of me just going off, I will share you the Roxy one. That is, in fact, Roxy with jet boots while using her left hand as a spotlight with machine gun nipples. See, listen, it's one of those things where, like, I just really like the stupid stuff. It's very fun. Like, engineer bay 1.jpg, please. So we'll just put it out there so everything's highlighted, and then we'll do a quick save. What you doing there, partner? What you got going on there? Holy dispenser, exactly. I forget what 2 is. Let's look at what 2 is. Go. I forgot I had that. I forgot I had these. Who doesn't love a good crystal? Well, you see, beauty. You don't know anything about crystal? Well, this is crystal. This is crystal. This is all you need to worry about. And then the slightly more risky one is that we have swolger1.jpg. That is an American flag doing a lot of work down there. Oh, this is why I was like, yep, if they have bodybuilders on YouTube, this is okay. Fucking yeah, it's doing all the work. I'm gonna take that off, and if anybody is watching this in the future and this is giving you an awakening, sorry, but also not that sorry. It was bound to come eventually. I'm happy it could be Swolger that gave it to you.